Oh, hey, Matt. Hey, I'm uh I'm watching The Great American Venture
Oh yeah,
as
was
they're
it on Apple TV or
yeah, I it's on the IG.
on the
They're
IG?
they're heading cross country. They're somewhere on the west coast of uh Washington State right now.
Somewhere on the west coast of Washington State. Wow, they're making good time. They've been
Now,
gone what 3 weeks?
3 weeks tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah. I got a question for you.
yes sir.
Are you a big soccer guy? Like, are you following the World Cup?
I am not.
Okay. Um, I am not a huge soccer guy.
Yep,
It's not that I totally respect people who are. I know
absolutely.
people who are
Yep.
into it. It's great. Think my thing is just maybe it's time. I'm like one of those people, like I like to know about who all the players are, know their
Yep.
backgrounds. Like if I'm a huge Ravens fan, it's like I follow the draft and everybody on the team, that kind of stuff. So I don't know who the coach is. I don't know who plays for him, but I love how much fun everybody else is having following World Cup soccer.
Agreed.
And my
Agreed.
favorite part is all the people from the world, Europe, Asia, South America, Africa, who are coming here and are loving America. Cause like some of these early like friendlies were like in college stadiums and they're going to the national parks and the small towns. They're doing basically the same thing the venture's doing. They're seeing America and they're reporting back and like, this is incredible. Like they love Bucky's, they love the open spaces, they love the national parks. They're like, everybody's so nice. It's pretty cool.
It's very cool. It's a great opportunity for the U.S. to kind of cement their brand
Yeah, and
globally.
with the 250 coming, it's exciting that people are that positive about their soccer experience here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I feel like I'm late to the game.
Yeah,
I followed a little Premier Soccer for a while when I had a cousin that was a part of a team over there. I like watching soccer, but just not really into the World Cup thing. It's just a lot of
yeah.
games and
I was a huge Baltimore Blast fan when I was
yes,
a
you were.
kid, and then I don't think I ever saw. I mean, I saw my high school play, but I never went to a game. It was like I was at practice and saw them
Yeah.
playing over there. I never saw my college team play, but I saw, I played little league soccer. You played little league
Yeah.
soccer. Every one of our kids played little soccer.
Sure.
I think every kid in the country who is an athlete has played some little league soccer.
Even if they're not. You said that sweet Keith Van Aaron jersey you used to wear all the time.
Yes. Now, and Stan Stamatovic. Yeah. So the other big sport, are you a UFC guy?
I am zero interest in UFC.
Okay, I do not watch much UFC. I can tell you one of my favorite movies is called Warrior. Is about UFC. It's
Okay.
incredible. Anne even loved it. It made her cry. It's one of Roddy's favorite movies. But the UFC fight, they had the big fight at the White House, and I'm not
Yep.
a UFC guy, but like people were loving it. Like, so it's like the same thing as soccer. Like, I'm not into it, but I'm happy that other people
Yeah.
are enjoying it. I saw the highlight of Travis Pastrana, an Annapolis guy
Yep.
going over there. I thought that was super cool.
Absolutely. No, I totally get it. Yeah, that's just not my bag. That's just not my deal.
I think I
Um,
watched one fight. I think it was John Jones's comeback, and John Jones, both his brothers were in the NFL, and he's a
Hurt?
heavyweight in UFC, but he's like the little guy.
He's a little
And
guy.
I think some people say he's the best UFC fighter ever.
Huh.
And he goes out and like within 30 seconds, it's over. I'm like, what happened there? He like got him some hold, and the guy's like, tap it out, tap it out. I'm like, wait a minute. But I do think that high school wrestling is an incredible sport. I think this next generation has not been wrestling as much. And I think if you promote high school wrestling as like the first step to being a UFC fighter, because the
Yeah.
grapplers do better. There's a great book called Professor in the Cage, where it's a professor who decides to study fighting. And this was in the early days of mixed martial arts. And before there was UFC, they didn't know what style was going to be best. So they didn't know if it
Okay.
would be the karate guy, the judo guy, the jujitsu guy. And basically, it came down to you can teach a wrestler to punch. It's harder to teach a boxer to wrestle. So the judo guys, jujitsu wrestlers were the ones who really took off in the early years. But Professor in the Cage is a good book. It's also a funny book because it's just like I think he's like an English professor, and he's like, I'm going to start doing jujitsu lessons, and then he's like challenging like karate guys to a sparring match at like cocktail parties to see which style works best. So it's
This is
it's just like you and me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is why Kevin Colleton fast forwards through the intro. You know that,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah. But I did think because we are celebrating the US, I did really enjoy how much the soccer fans from other countries are
Yeah, totally cool.
enjoying America, especially when it was the early, like, friendly matches where they're playing in, like, SEC stadiums like Auburn and the War Eagles flying
Yeah,
down, and they're going bananas.
I love it, and what a great experience for everybody, and it'll be interesting to see in the US how this spreads the love of the game even
Yeah.
more. So,
Well, do you remember when Pele played for the Cosmopolitans?
I
You
do,
know,
absolutely.
and everybody's playing Little League soccer, and it's all
Yep,
about how soccer is the next big sport in America. Well, that was 50 years ago,
yeah,
and it hasn't taken off. Now, sports change, and maybe I'm just looking at too small. Like it used to be, boxing, horse racing, and baseball were the biggest
right.
sports, and now it's football, basketball, baseball. I
Well,
guess hockey.
but no, you're talking professional
Professional.
sports,
Yeah,
right.
what I'm saying is
Yeah,
times will change, so I'm not
yes.
sa but I'm saying soccer, have they just never captured their window? Are they the next big sport, or is it, pickleball or lacrosse or
I
a
don't
sport
know. I
we
mean,
don't even know?
Remember Freddie Adu
Yeah,
in DC?
yeah,
Like, he was 16, he was supposed to be the next Pele, and
yeah,
that kind of fizzled. Haven't spent a lot of time thinking about the, growth of professional soccer since the Baltimore Blast days, but it's something to think about.
but we will get a former border Baltimore Blast player on
Love
this
to.
show.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Get
So who are we interviewing tonight?
tonight, this literally is an old friend of ours. CiCi Ducci is her name. We grew up with her, and we've seen her in the last 5 years, but she and her family moved back to Chile. I think probably 15, maybe 20 years ago. But you know what? I'm going to butcher all that and I'll let her tell us about it and what she's up to.
She was in high school when you were not in high school 20 years ago. I have a 30-year-old son.
I'm not
Almost.
good with
He's
numbers.
almost 30.
I'm not
Yeah.
good with numbers, but we'll
Uh,
figure it out. Let's let her
no,
tell.
no, this will be
She's
exciting,
waiting.
and we should say that this episode, is probably coming out after the 4th of July, so, I mean, it
Yep.
could be 3 to 4 weeks since the US beat Paraguay in soccer, so I'm we're putting it out there. Is the US gonna win the World Cup? Well, I'm putting
I
you on the
think you are.
spot
I
because
think so.
if they
All
win
right.
and you say they're not gonna win and you're going with Argentina, you're gonna look silly.
You're absolutely right. You know, I picked the Knicks in 5, and so I'm picking US. So I'm hot. I'm on a hot streak right now.
Okay, good.
All right. Well, let's say hi to Cece.
Oh, she's here already.
Yes, she is. All right. Here we are. Cece Ducci is joining us live from, where are you, Cece?
I'm in Santiago, Chile, so I'm very glad to be here with you guys back in Sherwood.
It's good to see you. So we were just trying to figure out. You moved away. Ty said it was like 10 years ago. I think it was more. I think it was like in the high 30s, like 36, 37 is ringing a bell to
Yes,
me. Um,
37 years ago we
oh my
left.
goodness. All
Just
right.
unbelievable.
In the middle of the night, you
hmm
guys were like the Colts. You guys left in the middle of the night. A Mayflower van came and you guys were
Dad
gone.
said, "Get on the plane," and we
Get
just
on the
like
plane. Let's
left.
go. That's
Cece,
right.
how long were you here for? Like, you weren't born in America, right? But you were super young when you came.
I was born in Minnesota, so I'm a
Oh,
Minnesota
you were?
girl,
Okay,
and then
okay,
raised in Baltimore, where my dad went to Johns Hopkins, and then
okay,
went to private practice in Washington D.C., where Andrea and Nikki were born, and Hector was born in
okay.
Baltimore, and then started Sherwood like as a midget and then stayed to be counselor. And, I left NCS, my school in DC, and left Sherwood.
So what grade were you in when you left?
I was in junior year of high school, so like
Okay, yeah.
18,
Uh-huh.
no,
Okay.
17.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
So your dad, doctor, and was from Chile,
hmm
came here for medical school, and then why did you guys go back?
Like, I think my dad took the decision and my mom was never for it. And he
Right.
was offered like to open, a huge hospital, like cardiology, something new, like pioneering
Yep.
sort of 35 years ago.
Yep.
So he decided, and imagine me like high school going to
Oh,
Chile where like no one even knew about, we didn't have the same food, music, anything. So it was really tough on me. Andrea and Nikki were smaller, Hector so. But we all went, and like my dad has 9 brothers and sisters. My mom has 4, like huge family here. We have great family here. So I think they wanted to come back. But my mom, I don't think she ever adapted 100%. And my dad is really doing well, did his doctor stuff and everything. He's no longer working right now. And my brother and sisters, like we have great family here. So we've really done nice stuff. So that's maybe why I didn't go back. But if I had like my perfect wish, like this second, I would
Sure.
pick up all my kids, all my dogs, all my stuff. And like with that like wiggly guy on the map, like the yellow guy would like take him from Santiago, like wiggling everyone. Everyone's going with me and drop it on Sherwood. Drop it on Sherwood. I mean, nowhere else. So, yep.
Now,
But everyone's fine,
when you
just in
moved,
case.
Good.
when you moved, you were completely fluent in Spanish, right? Like you were raised bilingual, so that was no
No,
issue, right?
no, never bilingual. So
Really?
I took like 3 months summer Spanish lessons.
Oh my
And that was
gosh.
a mistake. I think my dad wanted us to be like more American than Chilean or whatever. I took French class in school, so like, no. So I arrived non-bilingual, which was pretty tough also, and still is. So, but now I'm native. Yeah.
That's so funny. I would have said you were because I feel like you talked about me a lot in Spanish, and so I can understand you. So maybe I
Matito,
was wrong.
matito.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wow. All right.
Remember we'd had like the
Um,
maid who spoke Spanish, but my mom spoke
yeah.
English. My dad, like and among the siblings, always English. So no Spanish.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay. All right. How did your family find Sherwood?
Like my family, we would always go to like Jamaica on the summer. That
Right.
was like what we would do. And we wouldn't come to Chile. We would go somewhere else. And I remember like the Morrises, they live near like the Clippers on that
Yep.
hill. The Morrises invited us. I went to school with my friend and Hector with his friend. And they invited us for like Halloween, like party in the summer. It was the summer. It was like a dress up, and we all
Right.
got dressed up as chefs. My mom like made us 4 chefs, like with a chef hat, and we won all the prizes and everything. And then mom
Right.
was like, "I love this place." And then they like someone invited her to play tennis, and she won everything. And she told my dad, "I love this place. I'm coming back."
Huh.
So then we
Okay.
got like hooked right away, and we went to like
Yeah.
a
And
dance and like a weekend there.
that was a family named Morris who was not Eddie, Joe,
No,
Frank. It was
no,
a different
they're
Morris
no
family.
longer
Just
in Sherwood. They
yeah,
spent a very
yeah.
short time in Sherwood. Exactly.
Okay.
So, but
Yeah,
we
Oh,
always
I remember
say
that.
thanks to them, we made it to
Right.
Sherwood.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
because the Chileans came in and they moved out of the town. Okay, I get it. I get it now. Yeah.
The
And then
ghetto
how
guys.
did the college decision go? Like, did you always know you were going to go to college in Chile, or did you think you might go to Europe, or did you think you might go to the US? Like, how did that go?
Like, I think you're talking about all my sensitive issues, Ty, but
Oh,
that
sorry.
is definitely a big one. And
If
I
you want to lay
think I
down on the couch, that's fine. We'll walk you through this.
This is a wellness podcast.
This
No,
really
I
is.
need it.
Yeah.
No,
We
totally.
want to make you feel good about yourself.
Um, like I tried to, like I made it into UNC and I wanted to go to Berkeley. That was like my plan. But when obviously I wanted to go to college in the United States, but then my parents separated and it was like awful timing. And I came to Chile like really happy because I like to explore something new. I had no problem with it. But then I didn't make it back. And then my parents split up, which was awful. Then I got
Sure.
married very young, probably because of the same thing. And I never made it back. Just got swallowed up. But I do miss that I did not go to college. And all my kids have gone to college here in Chile. No one wanted to go offshore. So I made it. But of course, that's one of the issue.
Okay. And how many kids do you have?
I
Good
have
one, Ty.
a gorgeous 33-year-old who has 2 children. I'm a
Oh,
grandma.
awesome. Okay.
So
That's
cute.
cool. What
Then
is
I
your
have
grandma name? What is your grandma name?
they call me Gigi. Grandma CiCi, it's Gigi. So I'm Gigi.
Oh,
Sort of
cool.
like chic, right? Like sexy
Okay.
chic,
Sure.
Gigi.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then Antonia is 28 and she's pregnant and she's going to have a girl named Maria. So we're happy. And then
Okay.
I have Isidora who's dating. She lives with us and she's 26. And then
Okay.
David's daughter is named Kata and she's 24. So we have only girls. And we have, poor David, my husband, is just Gilead. It's Gilead here.
Yep.
Like just girls.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm in
That's
touch
awesome.
with that. Ty's about
Matt
to
doesn't
become
know
a
anything about that. Matt doesn't know anything about living in a house just with girls.
Why?
But David has hair.
Exactly.
David has hair. I
Exactly.
don't. I don't
I
know how he
know.
did it.
I
I don't know
know.
how
I
he
know.
did
You
it.
have
But
3 girls, right, Matt?
yes. Yep. 3 girls. All in September. Will all be in college.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
so
Oh, I
then
like
what
that.
did you do? what did you do career-wise in
So I
Chile?
studied business administration with like computer programming, and then I got into banking because I wanted to use my English. So I started in Citibank, then went to Bank of America, Bank Boston, and then a Brazilian bank. So I speak Portuguese, bought us. So I did like 25 years of banking, and I had a really good career, like international business, and I liked it. But then I decided to leave and open some restaurants. I opened 2 restaurants with my husband, and then COVID came in. So we had to close them. So I think that's where my stress, which we'll be talking about, starts.
Right.
Um, and then right now I'm like, I have my own real estate business. Like I'm working at home and doing real estate, which I've done for like about 6 years.
Doing what in real estate? Are you selling? Are you investing? Got it. I didn't know if you were like a landlord or if you were buying
A
and fixing up,
broker.
flipping that.
Hmm.
Broker.
I
Got it.
love flipping. I wanted to do flipping. I
Yep.
like flipping.
When you were doing all the banking, were you traveling? Because those were all
Hmm.
some American sounding names. Were you coming to America much?
We were like the regional hub. So like Bank of America is so big, their regional hub is like, it was in North Carolina, and we would go to Miami.
Okay.
Like the Latin hub would be in Miami, or I went to Vancouver, then London, but never DC, like, but some traveling. Yes.
Yeah. Because I remember I was telling Matt in the intro, I'm like, I feel like I saw you when I first moved back to Sherwood, when I was
Mm-hmm.
probably 32.
Mm-hmm.
I was with my daughters on Walking Beach Road, and there you were. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who you were staying with. And then I feel like we all went out to dinner when we were in our 40s. And then
Mm-hmm.
I saw you at a 4th of July a couple years ago in our 50s. So I feel like I've seen you 3 times
Every 10 years,
since
right?
we were
That's good.
18.
That's
Yeah.
good. And look,
Yeah.
we're still
Yeah.
friends. That's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you
Good.
go.
Yeah.
That's good. Every 10 years.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like I don't want to travel to like
Uh-huh.
US. Imagine like how creepy, because I want to be there. Like being a
Oh,
tourist is
right.
not what I
Jealous.
want. So
Yeah.
like,
Uh-huh.
but when I go to Sherwood, Kelly has me, and they're so nice, and I
Yep.
love it. I love it. And last 4th of July was a really like a great milestone because I saw all of you guys. I didn't talk to too many of you guys, with my friends and everything. And the best thing was that my amazing husband loved it. Loved it. And
Oh,
that's not
cool.
easy, you know?
And how did you guys meet? Your husband and
I
you?
met David at the bank. Like I got divorced from my first husband, who did go to Sherwood once and loved it also. And then I think I got married too young and like too much like focus on like bringing up the kids. We all know what it's like, right? But it didn't work out. So then I met David probably like 2 years or 3 years after, and he worked at the bank. So we were like secretly meeting each other at the same bank. But don't tell anyone.
Okay.
This is just a podcast, right?
Okay. Okay.
And
Wha
then I got married to him 2 years later. So, yep.
You mentioned in the beginning and, having kind of a high-powered job at a bank and how it might be different in Chile versus the United States?
Working, everyone works. Like I worked, and because you really have maids here and you can afford a maid, live in. But this is like 30 years ago. My younger daughters now are having like the same problem that maybe more American women have working. But I had the maid, I had 2 maids. I didn't have home office, so I'd like run, like race downtown, and all the banks were downtown, and I was always running. I was like taking my kids to and there's nothing online, so I'd take them to like the supermarket in PJs at 8 p.m. because we like
Right.
Chileans work from 8 to 8. We work a lot, and we're not so efficient. Maybe that's what they always say about us. So they're like long hours, so it'd always be racing, and that tires you out, right? But
Big
Yeah.
time.
I always wanted to work. My 3 girls work, so I'm sort of pro working. I love home moms, whatever. But I think if I have 3 girls that I want and I educate and I want them to like be happy, hopefully they work in what they like and what they do, and that's what I did. So I'm pro working. Hopefully balancing it out, which is maybe everyone says it's like awful now, but I sort of compare it to like me in high heels running in the metro, like going like 8 o'clock, whatever, taking to the dentist at 1 o'clock, whatever. Always running. That's what I remember. But now they're like home office, they're at home with the kids. It's like, I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it.
Right. For free time and your like activities, what else do you do when you weren't running raising kids?
Right now I'm like cooler, right? Calm and cool
Yeah,
at my 50s.
always. Yep.
But now I'm like more at home. So it's funny. Like one thing is that this world is full circle because now in my car, I have like a baby seat back in my car. I thought I was like ready for that and like ready for the
Done.
Ferrari, whatever. Like I have a baby seat and I go get my grandson at play school. So that's funny. And my husband was like, "We are not ready to be grandparents, and no one asks you. They just, it just
Right. That was
happens."
rude.
So that's
That
sort
was
of
rude of
fun.
them.
And then the second thing, like David brought me into music. He's a talented musician. He's like a drummer, a guitar player, or whatever. He doesn't sing. The only thing he doesn't do. So we started like composing music, and we have a band, and it's called Group Therapy. And I'll send you the link. And we're on Spotify, and
Okay.
we like make our own music, and it's sort of pop English, which I love. So it's difficult here
Right.
because my fans are like Spanish speakers, right? So I need to like do a tour back in Maryland, right? And we have fun music, and it's called Group Therapy. And I'm the singer. David's a guitarist, and our friend is a drummer. And we have a show on the 20th of July in a bar, and we like have fun. So that's what I do. I'm not doing too much exercise, and working. Say the band. Yep.
Have you always sung? Like, did you sing when you were young?
No, I like played like concert piano, like those like really strict ladies that they like, slap your
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
hands when you don't do the chord or whatever.
Yeah.
Like really
Yeah.
serious. And like Nea, my younger sister, was like more like the singer, and she's a DJ now. Nikki loves like percussion. Hector plays piano. So like I think dad and mom like always made us into music lovers. And I started singing thanks to my husband. And I have a song called You Brought Out My Voice because he sort of brought it
Ah.
out. And I just sing it. And I love making music. I like composing. And I'm not a poet. I'm more a mathematician. So I like making music. So that's my hobby.
Yeah. I do love singing. So if you need somebody like for a song
Okay.
who's enthusiastic
Perfect.
and off
Perfect.
key and no pitch, I'd be great. I'd be great. If you're just looking for enthusiasm. Yeah. 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 That Matt and I are both professional wedding dancers.
Oh,
Like if
Okay.
we're invited to a wedding, we understand the assignment, we know the mission,
You
we
do
will
it.
be on the
Yep.
floor all night long.
Perfect.
A wellness kind of theme to this podcast, and
Good.
you do want to talk about some wellness stuff. So we got your rocking band, you're the
Yep.
banker, you're super mom, now you're super grandmom, and then you got this other thing going on. So what's that all about? And when
Good.
you originally reached out, you wanted to talk to us about some health issues.
Exactly.
So I'm going to give you the floor to tell us about this.
Okay. I reached out to you because Ty was talking a lot about like inflammation and what to do with your knees and everything. And I was learning on the way that the condition I have is due to the same sort of stress, just life issues. And what I have is and anosmia. And it's the definition for anosmia is that you have complete loss of smell. And it's interesting because there's like a family of these, distortions that there's some people that have they can only smell things and everything smells rotten, like garbage. So imagine just like living like that, just like everything smells like crap. Then there's some other like pregnant women, like your daughter maybe, have like hypersomia, which is like everything you're really sensitive to perfumes and food or whatever. So there's like a huge grid of these disorders. And along with the smell disorders, it's interesting because I'm learning, and I'm going to try to tell you what I've learned after my investigations, is that 80% of our taste is thanks to our nose. So it's really obvious for many people to also lose taste. So I lost my smell and my taste. And just
so wait,
losing,
CiCi,
go,
I'm
yep,
sorry. So how long have you been battling this?
battling it. And exactly, I wanted to like do a disclaimer. Like I'm going to complain, but I'm not like even close to anyone who maybe have, blind or another disorder
No,
or
no.
please. So
Yeah,
I'm
right.
just
It's
going
all
to, I'm
relative.
going to complain anyway, but my
Yeah,
condition is
absolutely.
livable, right? So, okay.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I got this, in COVID. It's totally
Okay.
COVID. I'm like locked down, you know, working, like closing the restaurants, all stressed out. So I remember exactly 6 years ago, I started saying like I can't smell, but it was like along with many other people, right? Remember COVID? So then in January of 2021, I operated and I got my sinuses, like, because it was obviously like starting there. I was always allergic in Sherwood, whatever, but it's, kept on going. And so then, like, a year later, it's like 2022. I'm like, guys, I haven't gotten it back. What's going on? And then they diagnosed what I have, and it's called NPS, like nasal polyp syndrome. And so we have like these things in our noses that like are there and they can be inflamed and they produce chronic no smelling. And it also relates to asthma. I've never had asthma, so that's why I'm not doing too many sports. Like I have asthma, no smell, no taste, and I'm going crazy. And the impact is like reduces quality of life, which I want to explain to you later. And obviously like danger because you can't smell the gas if something's going on.
Oh yeah.
And you have to like there are meds to do it to get better, which I've been on, but it's like corticoid and it's awful for your like organs, whatever. So I'm trying to find like natural ways to get back. And there's some like smelling connection with your brain that you have to do exercises. Like there's lots of acupuncture, but basically I cannot smell and taste anything.
And now is that always connected to long COVID, or did you connect it to the stress and that you were a restaurant owner during COVID,
Hmm.
and that was obviously stressful because that's your whole industry?
Exactly. Like the causes are
Okay.
nasal polyps is what I have, dental issues, hormone changes, or a head injury. And the interesting thing here is that there are people that get it like I did, or there are people that are born with it. And that's just crazy for me to even think of. So they've never smelled anything.
But I'm thinking back to our podcast. You probably don't know him, but
We have podcast privacy issues. I was gonna change his name to B. Ryan Martinez, and he basically had long COVID, which
Hmm.
he's from New York, and it's just an interesting thing. I don't know how it was in Chile, but in New Yorkers tended to get it way worse. Like, most of
Hmm.
the people we know in Maryland or in Annapolis, COVID was a 1 or 2-day flu. I don't know anybody who lost their taste or their smell more than a couple days, and I see a lot of people. Now, that doesn't mean they're
Mm-hmm.
always telling me, but most of the people in our private lives had it pretty easy in this region, but I know people from New York who had it horrible, and he was like,
Mm.
"Ty, you gotta tell the world," because he did the
Mm-hmm.
carnivore and that completely decreased his inflammation. I
That's
wouldn't
interesting.
advise it for just people
Mm-hmm.
who wanna get in shape because it was incredible the first 2 weeks, you felt like you were 17. By 3 weeks, you were so sick of meat and eggs. By
Yep.
4 weeks, you're like,
Yep.
"I would just get a knee replacement. I'm not gonna stay on this diet my whole life." But Brian was like, "You gotta tell the
Exactly.
whole world," and I was like, but Brian, you're
Oh.
just one person, and I'm an orthopedic surgeon. It has to be reproduced in other people. That's what science is. So,
But
that's my
I
side
I
of Matt's
believe in,
story.
like, food affects our bodies, of course, so I was a vegetarian for 4 years, and I'm back on meat for more protein. Then I did, like, no coffee, no milk, no grains, no Diet Coke, those are my, like, addictions, and nothing really happened, so, like, when, like, you go back to the habit, but because I didn't really see a
Yeah,
change,
didn't
and
see
I, like, was off it,
results.
like, for 8 months, it was, like, long, and I didn't see it, so sort of went back to stuff like that, but
What other alternative things besides diet have you tried?
So like there's lots of like nasal sprays, asthma sprays, corticoid, which is like the medicine to, and now I'm like on a waiting list of like biologic medicines because my condition is chronic. And what I
Okay.
also learned and like sort of didn't understand, like when you go to the doctor, like I'll like, start like, I can't smell, whatever. And that's a condition for them. But the illness is like the polyp stuff. And they're
Yeah.
like, the thing is
uh,
chronic. Don't even tell me about your heartaches. So I just want to smell. I don't care what's going on with like my nose and my ass,
right.
but it's a condition. Like he like corrected me. He was like, it's not an illness. It's a condition. So I don't know.
And did the polyps exist? Like, you've always had the polyps and
No,
they just
never,
got
never,
okay, so
never.
this
They
happened when you
grow.
got sick.
Yep.
And then what happens if you can't smell and you can't taste? What happens to your hunger, like, as far as eating? Like, how do
Totally.
you eat now, and how do you have motivation to eat?
Okay. So I was like, let's look on the bright side and like lose 10 pounds, right? Just eat lettuce. Because if like the same thing, like lettuce or a hamburger or whatever, and it's like, okay, this is it. But it doesn't work that way. I actually like gained weight with this thing because I think you're like so frustrated, like, I'm going to eat it until I taste it. Like, so it doesn't work. And you do lose the sense of enjoying meals. I
Sure.
love cooking. I had restaurants. Now I just like cook off a whim. It's like so funny, or like from memory. So it's like I don't enjoy going out. It's funny, like you're at a table at a restaurant or whatever, and they're like talking about the wine. And I'm like, no one ever tasted nutmeg in wine, right? But now I don't taste anything, like,
Right.
so
Yeah.
it's like I feel sort of like away, a little like absent.
Sure.
And
You're not
l-
connected. Yep.
like maybe like the first 3 months, my kids were like, Mom, can you taste it? But now no one asks me anything. So I'm like
Uh-huh.
alone, but I'm a great, you invite me over anyway. Cause I'm like, oh, this is delicious. Like this is so good, but not tasting anything.
How about
Cooking, just funny, just whatever.
so do you eat for texture or for
Mm.
temperature, like, to get
Yep.
some more, like, and, like, so have your eating habits change because you're like, "Oh, I like this texture of food," or, "I like how it chews," or how does that work?
I have like a list of cool people, other famous people among, apart from myself who have anosmia. And
Okay.
one guy is Ben and Jerry, Ben from Ben and Jerry's ice cream, right?
Oh, wow.
So I will
Okay.
taste 28 flavors of ice cream and I have no idea the difference. Like none. Like there's like a little
Oh,
sweet or sour, whatever, but pineapple is just as like fudge, whatever. And Ben said, I'll be a partner in this business only if I can enjoy ice cream as you will, Jerry. Jerry was. So he made it the texturized. That's why Ben and Jerry's have like the chunky road, whatever, and like all that chunky stuff. And he passes his flavors or new flavors through him to see if he enjoys it because of the textures.
huh.
So totally Ben and Jerry is an example of that. And I love textures. That's my coffee in the morning is like hot, hot. I'm like, David, more hot, 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 and I love spicy food because I get that like twing there. Um, but it's just boring. Ooh.
What
Yep.
would a typical day of what you eat be like now, that you're eating for texture, temperature, and spice?
Like I was like making a list for you guys, like what I miss. And I obviously like smell coffee,
Uh-huh.
taste, smell bread,
Uh-huh.
taste. I just miss like the spices. You're like food. Why we love food is because like each nation has different spices. So I think I like miss the Thai, the Chinese, the Italian, like that stuff.
Sure.
Cause I'll eat like pasta or whatever. But I seriously miss that. So I'll eat like I like love salads always, but I eat normally. That's the thing. I shouldn't, but I like wheat bread in the morning with a milk and coffee, then a salad, and then like I'll go to a restaurant and I'm like between us, I won't like get the most expensive dish on the plate because I'm not even gonna like enjoy it, right? So I'm like
Right.
I'm a cheap date just in case.
Yeah. But socially, it's got to kind of put you on the
Totally.
outside looking in a little bit. And I'm sure there's a mental aspect of this that probably is tough to deal with.
It says that it really gets to you and it's sort of like a loner, sort
Yeah.
of like in the corner thing kind of thing. Because I was trying to like do similes on this. I feel it's like going to a rock concert, like music, and you're jumping up with everyone, the lights are hitting you, you're hearing the music. No, sorry, but you're not hearing the music. So everyone's having the best time, but you're not
Right.
hearing the music. And then another one, I was like thinking like, you're watching like an amazing sunset and I was like admiring the view, whatever. And your like view is like with a mesh, you're like covering it up, like you're not really seeing it. So I'm there, I'm eating, I'm having the best time, but no, I'm not there. So
Yeah.
I do sort of get depressed and there is like the food thing is huge for taste and smell, but then like the memory thing, and it's really like a mental illness thing. And like I'm like with these investigators who are like sort of exploring like what really happens because smell is one of the five oldest senses It's called a chemical sense because we smell it with molecules. And vision and listening is different. So it was one of like the primal senses, and it saved you from attacks, and it like found you food, and sort of like interesting. So it is really like ground into us. And what I miss, and it's just unbelievable. Just an example, like I do not know how I smell. I know I smell wonderful, but okay, my smell, my husband, my dog's smell, I have not yet known my grandson's smell, baby smells, which I mean, amazing, right?
Yeah.
My mom passed it like 2 years ago. And with Nea, we went down to her house in the South to get all our belongings. And then I didn't like smell her house for the last time. Like Nea's like
Right.
smelling like her sweaters and like putting them boxing and like, so I missed my mom's final smell. And you know, in movies, when everyone's like, mom died and I'm not going to remember her voice. I'm sort of like in that with smells now. So I'm forgetting
Yeah.
smells, and that's sort of sad. And then I'm not getting new smells because if you like forget people, new people come in. So I don't
Right.
have new smells and I'm forgetting my old smells. So that's sort of like the mental thing that
Yep.
affects.
Do any of your other senses become stronger? Like they talk about blind people like having these amazing sense of hearing or touch or whatever. Do you notice your other senses kicking in?
So of course I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have the best vision, whatever. No,
Yeah.
does not happen. It's funny because I'm on this network in England. It's called Smell and Taste, and they're a group. And I went to my doctor and I was like, my hearings, I'm losing my hearing. And I was like, maybe it's the music, whatever. And I have tinnitus, like that ringing in
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
my
You're a
mom had
rock
it, and
star.
she was going crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
lots of people in COVID and everywhere like saying like I can't taste, I can't smell, and I like my hearing. So no, I have not had any enhancement in anything.
Have you met any of the people that were born without smell or
Yes.
taste? Okay.
Well, first, like I have one case, like Helen Keller, remember, like our blind, wonderful
Yeah.
lady that we
Yeah.
read about in school. She had enhanced vision and smell.
Okay.
So that's an example. But like the amazing, like Jason Sudeikis, that actor who's so funny,
Oh
and
yeah.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
We love him,
Yeah.
right? We love him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was watching a podcast about Ted Lasso, which I love, and he has anosmia, and I had no idea. And it's called congenial. He was born with it. So this guy has never smelled anything. So I think that's sort of like a cool data point.
Wow.
And
Okay.
like,
You did say you listened to the Operation Rolling Thunder reunion podcast. All I'm taking away from that is you would have been the person that would have had to share a tent with Phil McIntyre the whole time.
no, and it's funny because this guy, like Jason says, and I do the same. Like I can eat like a hamburger next to like vomit of a cow or whatever. And it doesn't matter. It's so funny. And in my family, I'm like the designated gross smell picker-upper. I mean, always like there's something gross there, like the garbage or the shit or
Get it outta
whatever.
So
here.
you have to change every diaper.
Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then it's
Now,
also interesting, like Stevie Wonder is blind and also had anosmia. Can you even imagine that?
really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
He lost his smell after a car accident. It happens a lot. Like you break the nerve that connects everything with smell.
Ah.
So
Uh-huh.
Stevie Wonder, how
Was
about that?
he driving? He wasn't driving, was he?
That is good. That is good. That is good.
Yeah, it's a
Keep
question.
that. Well, can I tell you
Okay.
more people that have anosmia, which I think
Yeah.
really
Sure.
exciting?
Yeah.
Well, I started on like TikTok, like watching people, and there's this great girl, and she was born with it, just like Jason, who I didn't know. And so she's so smart, and she's like at college, and she's never smelled anything about anything, and she loves going out to have a hamburger, and she loves whatever. And she has like a buddy system. Her dorm, friends tell her if her hair smells bad or if her dorm smells like shit.
Oh my
And
goodness.
she has like this buddy system, and they like pick out nice creams that like smell nice or whatever. So I think that's sort of cool. Paul Simon had anosmia after
And
sinus
was he born with it?
surgery.
Oh, sinus surgery. Okay. Wow.
And dear Michael J. Fox, because of his Parkinson's, has it.
Okay.
Um,
Basically, there's nothing you can do about it. right?
So
I mean,
it's
there's
called like
no
chronic, and my doctor's like,
right.
live with it, but I'm not gonna do that. So, mm.
So what's the plan? If it's chronic, it's like, what's next on your list? I know you've probably done a lot of research. You've tried a bunch of
Mm.
different diets and things. What's next?
Like it's interesting because 5% of the population have a smelling disorder. So that's 415 million people. And if you compare that with like blind people, there's 70 million deaf people and 43 million blind people. So there's a lot of people
Hmm,
with smelling stuff, right?
Yeah.
Smelling disorders. And it's interesting because we can like receive 1 trillion smells each person.
right.
And we can only define 10 million colors. So imagine how important smelling can be if we use
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. And my plan now is like just being as healthy as I can. Um, like about 2 weeks ago, I got some smell back, and like my check factor is like I go to the kitchen, I smell vanilla and coffee, and if like something's going on there, like I'll like yell and jump and like whatever. And then in the shower, like I never bought like expensive, smelly soaps and everything. If I get my smell back, I will have like, 100 like soaps and like smelly stuff and
Well deserved. Yeah.
perfume. Exactly. That's going to be my prize. But I'll do like the soap test in the morning. And
Yep.
I'll be like, that girl on Saturday Night Live, like, like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll do like the smell test, and that depends how my day is going to go. But so I
Right.
had
But
it.
so there's a network of people that are suffering with this chronic
Hmm.
disease. Has anyone figured out how to get past it? So are there success stories out there?
Well, there's lots of like, there's a institute in Philadelphia, and there's people like everyone has like a sense and smell laboratory, whatever, and they're like really into like the testing of like what makes you trigger. And so like I've like taken tons of tests and like 1,000 videos where you're either receiving a coffee, buying coffee, or making the coffee. Like in what minute does your brain like say coffee? So there's like all these testings. And then there's like lots of laboratories that like help you with smell tests. Like every day you have to smell vanilla, lavender, mint, coffee, and just like really like rewiring what your
Wow.
brain is thinking. And then obviously like help inflammatory, like all the inflammation stuff, do that. I think I always say that, but I think I have to like drink more water and do more sports, but like everyone else in the world, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, when I was in med school and they were, this stands out in your case, is they used to say a doctor should cure, cope,
Mm,
or care. So when you started seeing your
exactly.
doctors and they couldn't cure you, did they still treat you well, or did you wish that they had treated you better? Like once they couldn't cure you, they weren't there for the cope and the care. How did you feel? How were you treated? And how do you wish you were treated?
Like I'm still on it, and I like have great doctors and everything, but again, they're not like worried about not smelling. They're like, accept that, like I'll work on this,
Uh-huh.
and the lady works on my lungs, whatever. And then I went to like an acupuncture, which I loved because he like really told me that like smell is because of this, whatever, like really interesting, like facts. And he told me that women smell, also smell better than men. And so like all this really interesting stuff I've been learning on this, but I think I would have liked like, get over here. You're not leaving here until you smell something, like,
Sure.
but I don't think they have it. That's the thing.
Uh-huh.
So,
I was thinking about what my next
Look,
question was gonna be. Oh,
I thought you
with
were gonna say,
the
"Wow, that stinks."
are you that does not need to be edited out. That's too good to edit out. Are you less sensitive to spicy food because you can't smell and taste?
well,
And I have a direction I'm going here. Can you
okay,
make
good,
money off of this by
good.
entering one of these spicy hot wing
I,
contests or even just going to restaurants and,
no,
Dude.
like,
totally.
making bets and stuff and
Oh,
win the
Well,
spicy eating contest, like hot
Jason
wings?
did that, so that's funny. That guy did that, so
Okay.
that's funny. The hot wing, chicken wing, whatever.
Yeah.
yeah, hot
Um,
ones.
it's funny because I've always loved spicy food, but now I need it, so I'm good at spicy. but then I don't want to like tear up my stomach, right? So it's like
Right.
I don't do too much of that. It's funny because I just like burn all the pots and pans in the kitchen because I'll be like, oh, rice, I'll be right back or whatever. And I'll like go back and I don't smell anything. So like David, my husband, is like the bodyguard. He's like, CiCi, it smells something, like if I'm cooking, because I'm cooking, and I will just forget it and just like not smell anything. So tons of pots and pans burnt.
What is
And
your most awkward what's your most awkward moment from not being able to smell or
and it's
taste?
funny because I was never really good at alcohol, but now I can
Uh-huh.
drink hard stuff and it just goes down the hatch. So I become a better drinker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
But
That's a win.
it's a good,
Uh-huh.
yeah, exactly. I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
Yeah. You
Um,
should be.
the different, like, I guess, like, I think it's like when everyone is like, when everyone's like whiffing something like really quick and it's like, I'm not there. I think that are those moments.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of like that with drinking. I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
With not
exactly.
drinking. I mean,
Yeah, of
it's
course.
the same. It's kind of the
Yep.
same.
You're
But I
out,
get it.
right?
Totally get
You're
it.
there.
Yep.
Of course you're there.
But you're not there. Yeah.
Yep.
I
Is
know.
that why
Exactly.
your band's called Group Therapy? Did that come
That was
out
so funny.
after
That was because we were
this?
like at a band, like at a bar, and like behind the bass player, there's like a license plate, like this cheesy license plate that said group therapy, and then it came there. So
There
group
you go.
therapy.
Okay.
But
Well,
it's funny.
how do you handle the depression that's associated with not having your smell or your taste? Like what is your wellness routine to help
Mm.
combat that?
I don't think enough. Like again, I think I need to do more exercise and just like be less stressed. Like I think it was like I got re-stressed because like I lost my job, I lost my dog, I lost my mom. We had to change homes. Like it was like 2024 was like crappy. So I think that like didn't like I could have maybe have gotten better quicker. So then I like stuck it out, I think. And so I think I'm just sort of like enjoying I like love nature and I'm like so visual now. I love music. So I think you go like replacing with other stuff because the world is amazing anyway.
On this rare chronic, it's not. I guess it's not that rare.
Condition,
With
right.
400 million condition, this
Mhm.
400 million. What are you going to do with all of this?
Okay,
Right? I mean,
so
you've got a lot of stuff.
thank you, Matt, for bringing up my issue. I am writing a book like everyone else. I'm writing a book, guys. I'm not doing a podcast. I'm not competing with you guys, but I'm writing a book first to like bring awareness because I think it's sort of interesting. Again, it's not like the worst
Sure.
condition and I live a wonderful life. But what I want to do, like the next step, always the next step, is like with my grandsons, like teach parents how important it is to smell. Because I've been like watching how I grew up with my kids and my girls are with their kids. Like no one's ever saying like, smell this oregano for like the same example. Like you're always saying like, look at that, see that, do you see that?
Ah.
So I'm like trying to tell people and parents like, let's smell more. And it sounds sort of like ridiculously funny and like those scratch and smell books, whatever. But it's like smell is memory. Smell is emotion. So like I'm bringing it to that level
Yeah.
and inviting parents to like, when you go to your grandma's, house, whatever, after the ride home, what did you smell? What do you remember? What do you like? And you'll see like everyone, when my kids come home, like, oh, mom, you're making pancakes, or like those like smells are like much more than what it is. So I want to invite families to like, if you teach your kids colors, teach them smells, not just sour and sweet. They're like 1,000 smells. Go out, play games, and invite kids into the kitchen, obviously. But just there's more than the kitchen. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, it sounds great. I like that angle. It's just as an important sense. So love it.
It also reminds me of if you've ever done like a guided meditation, like when they concentrate on your breath, sometimes you do a body scan, sometimes they do concentrate on your senses. And one of the things they talk about is like, all right, concentrate on your smell. And I always find that the hardest one to do.
Totally.
Concentrate on your breath, I'm doing good. Listen to the birds outside, I'm doing good. And then it's like concentrate on your smell and you're like, oh, this is harder because I
Yep.
feel like I have a good sense of smell for like food or burning or things like that, but not for the subtle things because we're
Totally.
not like dogs where we can pick up everything.
And in meditation, they'll say like, imagine a lake and you'll see it, right? But then they'll say like,
Yeah.
imagine smelling rain. I miss rain a
Yeah.
lot, like cats and dogs
Right.
rain.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
like the smell of water. I mean, all these things like the finesse of the smell. So exactly, I think that we should like smell more, connect more with smell. And it's funny because viral and Instagram and all these like networks have no smell, and that's sort of funny too.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
like it's like staying behind. Yep, and it's very
So we
important.
have interviewed a few authors. Have you started writing the book? Is it an idea,
Yes,
or have you started putting pen to paper?
I have 60 pages written, and I wanted to like
Okay.
ping pong with you like the title of my book. I was like, not smelling the roses, or like to smell or not to smell. Like
Yeah.
if you guys have any ideas, please.
Well, I think
Matt,
the
you
title
got
of
it
this
from good.
the title of this podcast will be CiCi Ducci doesn't smell.
Or no, she doesn't stink.
Oh, I was going to say doesn't stink, but
So it would be like it doesn't stink, or
no, she doesn't smell. Just
Yeah.
period, because she can't
Yeah.
smell and she smells pretty. So
Exactly.
oh, this is great, CiCi. So thank you so much for doing this. It's great to see you. Give our best to your dad and your siblings and David.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we get you come this way, or we'll meet you in the middle somewhere.
Well, we're gonna meet her on the book tour.
Right.
Exactly.
We'll do it.
exactly.
We'll run the Q&A for the book tour.